I like the Passaic River because it's abandoned.
This is the Passaic River. This is my backyard. Everybody sleeps on this river. There are some nice fish in here.
This river is pretty much ours as rowers.
It's pretty dirty.
I row with my mouth closed, just put it that way. I don't want to get splashed.
They'll dump bodies, they'll dump anything in there.
Welcome to the most historic place in America that virtually no one in America has ever heard of.
Like any eager reporter, I wanted a river adventure, and for my sins, they gave me one. The Passaic River. It isn't exotic, it isn't foreign. It weaves through my native New Jersey, more an intestine digesting the garbage put in it than the elegant waterway it once was. The trouble started at a picnic 200 years ago. Alexander Hamilton had lunch here at the river's 70-foot waterfall with George Washington and the Marquis de Lafayette.
And I'm sure General Washington was thinking, boy, this is really a beautiful place. And perhaps the Marquis de Lafayette was saying, this is really a nice spread that the general threw out for lunch. But what Colonel Hamilton appears to have been thinking is, this would be a great place for factories. This would be a great place for industry.
Cotton mills, silk mills, locomotive plants sprung up at Paterson. The first guns that could fire more than one shot without being reloaded were first made here. Colt revolvers. But the Colt mill and most other Paterson factories are closed now. Their skeletons remain. A post-industrial playground for my river guide, Wheeler and Tabanez.
Great Falls, that way, this way, Colt Mill. That's the tourist spot. This is my spot.
Wheeler and Tabanez is the Passaic River's modern-day Huck Finn and my urban Sherpa. Instead of a raft, he glides down the river in his canoe called the Nightshade.
It's amazing to think that at one point, people came to work here every day, And now, it's just sitting here, neglected and abandoned, very much like the river herself.
The Passaic was abused. It served as an industrial toilet. After 2 centuries, it's home to a long list of metals and chemicals that only a trained scientist should have to pronounce.
Well, can I pull out my cheat sheet?
Yeah, you may.
Right. So the marquee pollutant is this form of dioxin best known by its initials TCDD. The kind of co-stars are mercury and lead, dibenzofuran, anthracene, benzopyrene, chrysene,
There are
chlorantine,
places where you
fluorine,
don't have to have a
naphthalene.
scientific degree to see what's polluting the river.
Here in Little Falls, New Jersey, we have much different pollution than they have downriver. The last 17 miles of the Passaic River is dioxin pollution. Up here, we have mainly human pollution from human waste. There's been dead bodies going over this falls. There's been people who have died up here. And a lot of times when the falls are flowing heavy, or sometimes when they're flowing low too, the mist coming off of it, you get the distinct smell of human feces.
Despite all that, a few miles down from Little Falls, in the town of Rutherford, I find rowers out on the water. These rowers know just how dirty this river is. And one of them even remembers he contributed to the mess when he worked at a dye house.
And one of my job obligations was to remove the debris from the dye house, the chemicals, the dyes, directly into the Passaic River. Amplify that to all of the other factories that were on the Passaic River. You could imagine the toxic load that the Passaic River is holding at that time. And that was in the mid-60s.
Around that same time, America was fighting the Vietnam War. We dumped millions of gallons of a chemical defoliant on the jungles there, Agent Orange. Its byproduct is dioxin, the most deadly man-made chemical. They made Agent Orange on the banks of the lower Passaic River near Newark, and the waste product dioxin was dumped into the river. As a result, the final 17 miles has a special designation by the Environmental Protection Agency, Superfund Site.
At the end of the day, what Newark got out of it was a tomb dedicated to containing that dioxin-laden material, almost like North Jersey's version of the pyramids. I've always said half-jokingly that archaeologists in 2,000 years will be excavating here to find out why 20th century man built monuments to pollution.
Despite the Superfund cleanup, the city of Newark is trying to revive the lower river for recreation, but my urban Sherpa likes it just the way it is.
This is the sunken, decrepit, decaying boat, which I love so much, and a lot of graffiti, a lot of just urban living. If you come down here enough and you listen to what the river's telling you, she is crying out to be saved. And that's, I think, why people have devoted their lives to it. And I just think it's unfortunate because I don't think they have a chance in hell of ever cleaning this river, you know what I mean?
Wheeler may be right. History probably flows only one way on this river. The Passaic was a useful tool for jump-starting a new country, and now it's a monument to the price we had to pay to do that.